Hey there, hi there, Cancers. It's me, Priscilla B, and welcome to your energetic upgrade reading. So, you're leveling up, okay? What that means is that you have reached a certain stage in your spiritual journey, in your development, energetically, consciously, and now it is a time for meditation, for relaxation, for some self reflection, and some much needed self love. And so, for that, I'm going to be giving you an energetic chakra spread reading. This spread should be done as a meditation and visualization along with a card reading. Shuffle and place 7 cards before you face down. Proceed to interpret each card. As you turn each card, imagine that chakra opening and spinning in your body while simultaneously focusing on the card's message. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be comparing definitions of these tarot cards by using a few different books. Okay, so I have the Meditations on Tarot, A Journey in Christian Hermeticism. Don't worry, we are not here to debate religion or to talk about Christianity. I simply thought that this book could maybe help translate some of the meanings behind the tarot. And it's also interesting too because this book, yes, it's interesting, because this book, the author, he only focused on the major arcana. And I found that very interesting. So we're going to only be using major arcana for your energetic chakra spread. Okay. And it says here, published for the first time with an index and Cardinal Hans Urs von Balthasar's afterward, this new English publication of Meditations on the Tarot is a landmark edition of one of the most important works of historic Christianity. Written anonymously and published posthumously, as was the author's wish, the intention of this work is for the reader to find a relationship with the author in the spiritual dimensions of existence. So, becoming friends with the author. So, I mean, this book says Meditations on the Tarot has attracted an unprecedented range of praise from across the spiritual spectrum. Yeah, because I feel like spiritualists are open to different interpretations of the tarot. So, like open-mindedness, right? Not everyone has it. Okay, some people think they're right, always right, and everyone else is always wrong, and it doesn't. It just creates a pretty one-sided conversation. So it's not like intellectual to intellectual; it's more intellectual to blockhead vibes. But I don't think this author's intention was to say that like only their opinion is truth. In fact, reading this for the collective message. So yeah, I mean, it's just like they want you to find your own definition or your own connection or your own meaning, and this book explains their findings. So I think it's interesting to share different perspectives from different philosophers. And the author of this book was a philosopher. I don't think you can ever I don't think there's like a philosopher. I think you're like either born a philosopher or you're not. And I think that's just like a trait you're born with. So yeah. And so anyways, so the philosopher, he eventually converted to Catholicism and he became Catholic. Okay, so why? I don't know. Probably business related. That's the only explanation I can think of. So yeah. But anyways, let's get into the energetic chakra spread. Let's start with your root, base of your spine, security. And I also wanted to read to you one of my Akasha Oracle cards for this meditation reading. Okay. And the number 8, synchronicity, and the blue iris flower. And there's tarot cards, there's a feather, a moon, a crescent moon, a iris, an angel in a blue dress, two butterflies, and then these gold energetic like connectivity and like wavelengths passing across the planet Earth. And I just felt like Cancer, that we're in Cancer season, so I feel like you might be really looking at synchronicities a lot. And I'm going to read you the spiritual meaning behind the blue iris flower. Let's just call that like your flower of the month, the theme of the month for you, Cancer. And happy birthday, Cancers, by the way. Blue iris spiritual meaning. Let's see. So, the spiritual meaning of the blue iris. Okay, the blue iris is a symbol of is rich with spiritual significance, often representing hope, wisdom, faith, and divine connection. It is the striking blue petals and graceful form have been admired for centuries, and in many traditions, it serves as a gentle reminder to trust the journey and seek deeper understanding. And that's really what you're doing this month, Cancer, is you're seeking deeper understanding and you're on a journey here. Okay, so let's take a look at the root, I can't speak today. Root, base of spine, your security. Ooh, the Emperor. Wow. Cancer, you're coming off like really, really strong here. Dang. You want to be seen as like a leader. You want to be seen as someone with great power, great strength, great potential, great ability to lead. Great leader is lead by example, right? And also like not be a dictator, right? Y'all know that one, right? So yeah. All right. So let's take a look at the Emperor. Okay. All right. The Emperor. Father figure, habits and strategies, creating success and results, authority and domination, defense and protection, established rules, asserting boundaries when needed and moving them when necessity calls for it, self-possession, and above all things, self-control. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, and by the way, I'm also getting this energetic spread from this book, The Dark Wood Tarot. Okay, so a lot of people do associate like the father figure, the father energy with security. Also, I'm getting like backbone, like someone here has like a backbone, like they're not like a coward. Yeah, root, base of spine. Okay. Let's take a look here at the Emperor energy when explained by this author. Let's see. 77, page 77. The Emperor. Dear unknown friend, the less superficial a person is, and the more he knows and is capable of, the greater is his authority. To be something, to know something, and to be capable of something is what endows a person with authority. One can also say that a person has authority in proportion to what he unites within himself, of the profanity of mysticism, the direct wisdom of gnosis, and the productive power of magic. Whosoever has this to a certain degree can found a school. Whosoever has this to a still higher degree can lay down the law. It is authority alone which is the true and unique power of law. Compulsion is only an expedient in which or to which one takes recourse in order to remedy a lack of authority. Where there is authority, where there is present and the breath of sacred magic filled by the rays of light of Gnosis emanated from the profound fire of mysticism. Their compulsion is superfluous. Now the Emperor of the fourth arcana of the tarot does not have a sword or any other weapon. He rules by means of the scepter, and by the scepter alone. This is why the first idea that the card naturally evokes is that of the authority underlying law. The thesis which proceeds from meditation on the three preceding arcana is that all authority has its source in the ineffable divine name YHVH, and that all law drives from this. I don't know what YHVH stands for. Not explained. Okay. The divine name. Okay, so YHVH, which is the source of authority, master of ways, and one's personally chosen mission in order to be charged with a mission from above. Okay. Lao Tzu reveals the acronym of authority in his Tao Te Ching. He says, 30 spokes unite in one nave, and because of the part where nothing exists, we have the use of a carriage wheel. Clay is molded into vessels, and because of the space where nothing exists, we are able to use them as vessels. Doors and windows are cut out in the walls of a house, and because they are empty spaces, we are able to use them. Therefore, on the one hand, we have the benefit of existence, and on the other, we make use of non-existence. And again, be humble and you will remain entire. Be bent and you will remain straight. Be vacant and you will remain full. Be worn and you will remain new. He who has little will receive. He who has much will be embarrassed. Therefore, the sage keeps to one and becomes the standard for the world. He does not display himself, therefore he shines. He does not improve himself, therefore he is noted. He does not praise himself, therefore he has merit. He does not glory in himself, therefore he excels. And because he does not compete, therefore no one in the world can compete with him. Wow. Because he has authority. I really like that because it's kind of saying like the emperor is like a very humble leader. Like he doesn't boast, he doesn't brag, he doesn't act like he knows everything. He just is. And that's what makes him a great leader. And be humble and you will remain entire. I feel that like so much. Like I feel like it's like being humble is such an attractive quality. In a leader, I feel like Cancer, you have that quality. I also feel like sometimes, we do get embarrassed. Like we do meet certain energies where we feel like we're like feeling like we messed up or we did something wrong. But I think it takes a great leader to know that energy and feel that energy and like not let it turn you into somebody who's like controlling and negative all the time and trying to like force your thoughts and your beliefs down into other people's minds. You're just existing. That's really like the alignment there. That's what really gives you solid grounding, is when you're not trying to force people to bend to your will. You're just letting them be. And also feel like the emperor, like he's not like supposed to be like this vapid creature that just like, doesn't value I feel like he doesn't value like I feel like if he sees something, like he does not display himself, therefore he shines. He does not improve himself, therefore he is noted. I feel like, like he doesn't need to put himself on display. I feel like he just needs to be himself. I feel like Cancer, you're right now just like being yourself. And I feel like you're not asking or expecting anything really in return. Just like mutual understanding that we're all existing together, and these are the positions that we are now in, we find ourselves in, and we just ask like that other people have like the same, I feel like, grace and understanding that we have shown, or that you have shown, Cancer, like that the emperor should show. I'm thinking of Empress energy. Maybe I'm thinking of the Empress energy because it's like, I don't know. I just itched my ear. Just like, don't look at me. Okay, I don't know. Let's move to the next sacral, your sexuality. Okay, I just like, yeah, wow. Oh my god, I can't believe I just did that. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. It's like moments in time. Okay, let's take a look here at the sacral. We have temperance. Ooh, okay. Temperance. Yeah, balance here is important. Okay. So, taking a look here at the temperance energy, I know this is like number 14. So, we're going to take a look here at temperance. 73. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you don't have anything to be embarrassed about, but like at the same time, it's like being embarrassed is like a perfectly like natural place of existence. Like we all do things and say things that come out sounding like silly or like ridiculous or just nonsensical sometimes. That's what makes us human, right? So let's see here. Temperance. The card of the 14th major arcana of the tarot places us in the presence of an angel in a robe, which is half red and half blue, who is accomplishing or presiding over the accomplishment of a strange act, where the angel is pouring colorless water from one vase into another. Okay? Now, an intellectual shock and therefore an acronym, okay? Something which one has to take hold of and apprehend beyond the usual plane of experience and thought. This invites us, therefore, to profound meditation, to a spiritual exercise. Let us follow this invitation, okay? So, this is your guardian angel, okay? Yeah. The guardian angel is a protege for divine justice. The guardian angel defends his protege like a mother defends her child. Or maybe that's why I was picking up on some Empress energy. Maybe the temperance is the guardian angel to the emperor. Like looking out for the emperor. So dressed in women's robes, half blue, half red. Not all angels are guardian angels. There are others who have diverse missions. But guardian angels, insofar they a guardian angel, are mothers of their proteges. This is why traditional art presents them as winged females, and this is why the card of the 14th arcana of the tarot also openly presents the angel as a winged female. Okay, so these are messengers. Yeah, okay, so they have special missions and tasks. Angels of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, the Virgin, death, life, karma, relationships between different spheres, revelations of wisdom, knowledge, ascetic discipline, and many others. Many of them represent paternal love, or rather fraternal father. Yeah. And Father's Day just passed too. Okay, Cancer. So it's like you are this guardian angel. You are a protector of your protege, or you are a protector in this case of the Emperor. Maybe you are a mom with a child that you're trying to protect. Maybe you have a father that you look out for. Okay, so dear unknown friend, to think of the angels as entities in whom prevails either the tenderness of maternal love or the justice of paternal love. For what it is a matter of is not to project earthly sexuality upon heaven, but rather on the contrary, to see in the former of reflection. Although often disfigured of the polarity from above, I may add that the Jewish Kabbalah, above all, the Zohar teaches admirably the lesson of thinking of things here below as a reflection of things from above and not inversely. The Zohar is truly one of the better schools of purity and chastity, concentrating all that relates to husband and wife, father and mother, son and daughter, fiance and fiancée, at one and the same time in the spiritual soul and physical worlds. For true chastity is not to refuse to look at and to see or even to deny, but rather to see the celestial prototypes through and beyond things here below. And it is this chastity that one finds and apprehends in the Zohar, the book of splendor of the Jewish Kabbalah. Yeah. So that's why I think it's like really cool that this card came out with the sacred sexuality. So it's like, as a mom, right, you obviously like gave birth to a kid, so you had to have sex to do that, and your father had to have sex to have you. Okay. Sorry if that's crossing a line, but that's just reality. That's how things work. Okay. So this reading might not be for everybody. Okay. But Cancer, at the end of the day, I feel like you are very like aware that like you want to like protect your children, for instance, from being hurt, right? Because we do know that like relationships can get messy. So especially when intimacy is involved and physical act is involved and sex is involved. So maybe you're kind of like that guardian angel of like watching out and looking out for your child. Like, oh, I hope, like they're not getting hurt by the person that they're sleeping with, or because that would feel so much pain if that were true, because it's such an intimate act and it's something so like I feel like protective, but like you're just very protective upon it. And I feel like also at the same time like husband and wife, fiance and fiance, like maybe you are dealing with a situation that you are the guardian angel, for instance, and you're seeing your son being hurt by their fiance, or you're seeing like maybe you're a wife and you're seeing like your husband is like not treating you right in that department, like but you are still like staying true to yourself, like. And I don't know your feelings on chastity, Cancers, obviously, but I feel like you're very fiercely loyal, though. Like you, even if, like I feel like you have been fiercely loyal. I feel like you have gone through this sort of like change of like seeing someone you respected as a leader do some shady things, and now you're just like, I can't, as a guardian angel, like not the guardian, you don't want that job of being a guardian angel. You don't want to be a mom and feel like a mom to your husband. That's just cringe. That's just no bueno. Like you want to feel equal, and like it's very psychological. This is very psychological. This is going deep in, dive in. Woof, okay. Let's go to solar plexus, your power. Okay, because I feel like for a lot of you, maybe you felt like your power was like being taken from you, and now you're calling your power back. Okay? Yeah, judgment. You were definitely feeling judged here. I feel like you were feeling judged by maybe your spouse's mom, or maybe you were feeling judged by your spouse, or maybe you're feeling judged by your fiance, or maybe, you know, someone was not being loyal to you here in the sacral department. I feel like you were trying to keep that balance. You were trying to do the job of the guardian, but how is, like, that's the thing, is like the guardian is not, they're not accessing their sacral because they're in the guardian role. Okay, so then your chakras are not going to be aligned if you're a guardian angel to your spouse. Yeah, like, yeah, you guys can both look out for each other and be loyal to each other, but when you take on that, like, mom role, that caretaker role, no bueno. So, judgment here. Your guardian angel is telling you to call the guardian angel to your guardian angel. Is like, you've got to take your power back. Okay? It's just, you have to. Yeah. So, gonna go into that. We're gonna go into the judgment card. Meditation on the 20th major arcana, the judgment. There's like a little like poem here. It says, the state of the brain continues to the remembrance. It gives it a hold on the present by the materiality which it confers upon it. But pure memory is a spiritual manifestation. With memory, we are in very truth in the domain of spirit. Dear unknown friend, the card that we have before us bears the traditional name, the Judgment, and what it represents is the resurrection of the dead at the sound of the trumpet. Of the angel of resurrection, it is a matter, therefore, of a spiritual exercise, where the use of intuition, that of the 19th acronym, the sun, has to be carried to a maximum, the theme of resurrection being of the order of the last things, but all the same accessible to intuitive cognition. Now the last things, or the spiritual horizon of humanity, are not the same for the whole of humanity. For some, everything finishes with the death of the individual and with the complete dispensation, maximum entropy of the warmth of the universe. For others, there is a beyond, an individual existence after death, and an existence of a non-material universe after the end of the world. For still others, there is not only spiritual life after death for the individual, but also his return to terrestrial life, reincarnation, as well as cosmic reincarnation. Yeah, so I feel like that's the thing, is like, you are going beyond this, like, material world where you have to, like, feel like you need to take care of everything and everyone, and now you are expanding and growing. That's what the energetic upgrade is. That's what it feels like consciously when you level up spiritually. It feels like you are no longer doing a job that was never meant for you to do in the first place, that was separating you from your own life and your own ability to live, because you weren't living, you weren't thriving. Yes, you were technically alive, but you, like, were spiritually, you were like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. This is not who I am. This is not where I'm meant to stay forever. You are meant to grow and transform. And yes, you did have to go through a spiritual death and transformation in order for that to happen, but it brought you closer to your truer self. I'm going to read you this passage from the book. Then he shall restore the world, which will never grow old and never die, never decay and never perish, ever live and ever increase, and be a master over its wish. When the dead will rise, when life and immortality will come, and the world will be restored at God's wish. And I feel like you made a wish to yourself. All right, so interesting. This is you taking your power back, really. And you're taking your power back because you're not really like living in fear of judgment anymore. You just are existing. You just are being your natural self. And you're being authentic. And this is what is drawing in more authenticity, more authentic energy that is in alignment with who you are and what type of person that people see when you really truly are yourself. And the people that appreciate that part of you and understand that part of you will show you. They will tell you. They will let you know. Okay? So, yeah. Let's take a look here at heart, your empathy. The sun. All right. So, yeah. Now I'm going to read you the definition of temperance, judgment, and the sun through the Dark Wood book, through this author's interpretation. And the author of this book, Sasha Graham, okay? And illustrations are by Abigail Larson. So here we have temperance, okay? So let's take a look at temperance. Temperance is the archetype of complexity, transcend duality to embrace entirety. The shadow which leaves death behind, while understanding all her lessons, she moves out to a great plain and walks toward an endless horizon for what feels like hours. Her animal companions are true and stay by her side. Her throat becomes dry and she stops at a glistening pool to take a drink with her hands. A dark angel with an horned headdress rises from the depths of the water, connecting to emotions, the subconscious, and eternal flow. The liquid she fuses is integration of life energy. She displays mastery as she hones her skills. You become the expert. This is the beginning of maturation. The Gothic tower stands in the distance as a hint of the ultimate attainment that is to come. The tower is the highest physical point we can reach without leaving the ground. Once the lesson of death is understood, accepted, and ingested, the spirit can engage temperance. You are now able to combine the oppositional ideas of life and death in a new form. A new path appears. Options become available. The center and focal point of temperance is the liquid she fuses. It is the card of balance and complexity, but also the magic we make when we focus on what's in front of us. We stand inside shifting polarities. Temperance is how we greet the changing dichotomy of life. Balance within duality, leading to complex thought and action, the honing of skills, energetic mastery, going with the flow, unique and successful combinations, excellent management skills, put to the test with good results, originality, the unique expression of personal talent. Yeah. So, judgment. Okay, let's take a look at judgment. And then we'll take a look at the sun. Judgment is the archetype of transformation. You have passed the point of no return. The choice is made. The transformation of the soul is complete. Wake up call, eternal change. Nothing will ever be the same. Evolution is at hand. Rebirth, heeding the call of your heart. Unfolding joy. And then the sun. The sun is the archetype of the creator. Health and vitality flourish. So once you've gone through the transformation, once you've gone through the energetic upgrade, now you're able to create expansion, renewal, and growth, brilliance and beauty, pregnancy, the unfolding of the heart's desire, pleasure, productivity, recognition of achievement. Okay, so yeah, I mean, so far it seems like everything that you're experiencing, everything that you're feeling is bringing you closer and closer to the start of this new phase in your life, or this new chapter, you know. And these terms get used so often in tarot readings because what happens is you reach a milestone, you reach a point in your life on your spiritual journey that you never really, like, you only ever imagined, or you only ever wished that it would come true. And you had to do all of this work, and you had to do all these upgrades, energetic upgrades. You had to do all this work. That's the best way to describe it. All this energy work, light work, shadow work. You had to do all of it to get to where you are now. Okay? Throat, your speech, the high priestess. You're speaking from your intuition. This is your story. This is your truth. This is what has brought you closer to finding who you are. Or what you've been all along. Take it how it resonates. Okay? So, the high priestess. So, the high priestess. The high priestess is the archetype of the authentic self. You have become your authentic self. You've always been yourself, but you had to definitely go through a death, rebirth, transformation in order for that to really start to show and be expressed. The shadow witch feels water tickle her toes. She wonders if she's wandered into a puddle or a stream. Silky liquid floods the path. Gaping trees groan as the teepee in toward each other. Their branches reaching high for a full moon they will never touch. Lunar sparkles glisten across the deluge. Out of the mist and moisture, a figure takes shape. The luminous presence of the high priestess rises before the shadow witch. The high priestess holds a scroll and silently unrolls it. The word tarot appears. This is the book of your life, containing every possibility, every imaginable outcome. It is ever-changing and all-encompassing. The high priestess is the blueprint of your soul and the pure authenticity of the self. She is everything you were, are, and will be. She is your container of soul knowledge. She is inner wisdom, waiting to be revealed. She is your ebb and flow, the cyclical energy of your life. Two trees enclose the high priestess from either side, reflecting the dual polarities we move between in the material world. This is dark and light, awake and asleep, highs and lows, and all shades in between. The dark wood's initials are carved into the bark, marking the threshold into the wood's innermost secrets. What treasure is locked away inside of you? The high priestess's secret is silence. Silence is the space of manifestation. Silence is the space of infinite possibility. It is the expansiveness containing all four elements. Silence is the space between the cards in a tarot reading. Sort out what is meaningful to you and sow your intentions inside silence like seeds in a garden. The high priestess's dress dissolves into water because she is the front of all waters found within the tarot deck. She is lunar tides, rushing rivers, the lady of the lake. She is the amniotic fluid that sustains you. The High Priestess is your special details, your likes and dislikes, your talents and fascinations. The full moon rises above her head, while a waxing moon is strung around her neck, reflecting her lunar connection to the cyclical nature of the seasons and your life. Who you are spills out naturally when you are true to yourself. She is the subtle self who becomes stronger while acting in alignment with universal forces. She is the space beyond word, image, and sound. She is the knowing that extends outward into the ever-expanding, ever-unfolding you. Silence, secrets, darkness, evolution of the soul, the blueprint of your personality, talents and traits, a deep knowledge and third eye vision, activated intuition, lunar cycles, inner knowledge, personal authenticity. So, yeah. Cancer, I mean, you obviously are just being yourself over here. I'm loving it, Cancer. I really am. I also feel like sometimes you definitely judge yourself. You definitely over criticize. You definitely get very critical of yourself, and I don't want you to do that, Cancer. I feel like sometimes you take on way too much responsibility. I feel like, again, you step back into that temperance role of caretaker, and I feel like you obviously that's a huge part of who you are, and it's a beautiful part of who you are, but it's not all that you are. It's just something you tend to feel like you need to step into at times, and that comes from your empathy, that comes from your heart chakra, that comes from the sun energy of wanting to be like that light in everyone's lives all the time. And I feel like sometimes it's good just to be like a light in your own life, okay? And I feel like your way of expressing yourself, your way of doing things, it's I don't know, mind-blowing, I guess, Cancer. I don't know. Like, I'm honestly, my mind is blown, okay? Like, I don't know anything anymore. Just, I don't. But just have, empathy for yourself, too, you know? And, have empathy for others. And you definitely have that. You know, you definitely have that. Yeah, so follow your own inner voice. So if you feel the need to express something, express it. If that's authentically who you are, if you feel that's who you are, express it. If you get some kind of feeling that you're not being authentic, or you're not feeling some type of way or about something, then don't continue it. You know, just stop it where it's at. Just leave it things where they are, and then wait and come back to it later, because you have this innate quality where you are trying to channel an energy that is authentic. You're trying to channel in your own authentic energy and be in tune with that and in alignment with that. So there's a lot going on here. Speaking your truth is really important. The third eye, your intuition, is mentioned here. Third eye chakra, okay, for the High Priestess. And so we're going to see what your third eye chakra is. The star. Okay. So let's take a look at the star energy. Let's see. Star. Yeah, 17. The star is the archetype of healing. Yeah, I feel like you're healing right now, Cancer. You know, especially if you've just gone through an energetic upgrade, especially if you've just gone through this whole transformation and rebirth. The universe is making a way. It's creating a way for you to just be able to just like take your time and heal right now and trust the process and let the process play itself out. Yeah, so your universal alignment is your natural state. So this is where you want to be in your natural state, okay, Cancer? Go figure. The tower has been toppled, and the Shadow Witch makes her way through smoldering rubble to discover a vast and peaceful body of water. Under a clear sky, she sheds her clothing and sits at the water's edge to bathe in starlight. A single toe gently breaks the surface. She teeters on an ancient tree while looking skyward. The star is the open, generous space emerging after the tower destroys what is no longer needed. The star is the inspired space available after a true energetic clearing. The star reflects freedom. It reminds you of what is possible when it is hard to see through the static. The star is the opening of the soul. It is the card of possibility, life, and connection. It is the breeding ground of true magic. Generosity fills the star card with the ability to be kind to others and the self. Jubilation illuminates you like helium in a balloon. The body is alive and open, warm and receiving. This state of reception allows ingenuous ideas to burst forth. Nope. Okay. An unexpected possibility, a thrilling opportunity, or a situation beyond your wildest dreams becomes available to you. The star is naked, losing all self-consciousness. She is vulnerable yet active. Celestial radiance showers upon her. This is the energy of artist and muse. It reflects your connection to water, earth, and sky. She operates freely. The devil has relinquished his grip. The tower cleared and the decks. Cleared the decks. There you go. You radiate hope, relief, and pleasure. Inspiration, minimalism, motivation, creating a new reality, emotional clearing, gifts of the heart and soul, belief, peace, pleasure, space cleared, hope, optimism. Okay? There is a shadow side here to the star card that I think is important to touch base on. There's a shadow side to every major arcana, every card in the deck. Okay? So, thinking life should always be brimming with pleasure. The assumption that fairy tales are true, thinking outer perfection is everlasting. Preconceived ideas of everlasting bliss lead to disappointment and distress. Using others to justify your behavior, trying to make things nice on the outside when the inside is festering. Dishonesty, shallow thoughts, and behavior. I don't think you're doing any of that, Cancer. But you know that energy so well, and you feel it all the time, and it's because it's everywhere. You know, we see this like shallow, superficial, like base level. You might think of it like maybe in the more of the mind realm of like dimensions. You know, where you kind of like you're trying to sort of avoid the surface level of life, but it is unavoidable though, you know, because it's part of it. And but you try to navigate it in a way energetically that speaks to like depth, or speaks to alignment, speaks to spiritual upgrades. And it's a conversation, it's a topic, it's an energy of consciousness that shows that you've opened that door to a much deeper understanding of life and death, and finding truth in all living things and all energies and people, places, things, I guess, is the simplest term to use. That's a popular one. You know, so that's why it's like self-consciousness, like you're activating that third eye chakra. It's making you self-conscious at times, like insecurity. That's what I'm getting. Okay, I don't think you are insecure, but we all by nature do have that energy within us. That's like our anxiety and stress, because we're like, is someone going to look at me and judge me? You've already passed the test. You've already passed the judgment here. Self-awareness, I feel like, is the key to understanding that you don't need to be ashamed or embarrassed, which brings you back to the Emperor, of feeling self-conscious, because it is a normal human energy to feel. It's normal. You're vulnerable. You're exposing your true self, your most authentic self. You're afraid of rejection. These are all very normal feelings to experience, normal energies. All right, let's take a look here. That's your, your third eye is telling you is like, almost like the universe is like giving you like a kiss on the forehead, like chef's kiss, right? It's like you are the recipe and the design and the makeup of your own life, your own existence, and it's beautiful and it's transcendent and it's uniquely who you are. And I feel like the universe is just like you're good, like don't feel like you're not worthy, because you're worthy of having, like, I feel like self-love, self-respect, spiritual mastery. Let's take a look here at the crown, your highest self. We have the moon. We're talking about, if we go into intuition again, we're trusting in the moon energy. Let's see here, moon energy. I'm getting like a very like nighttime vibe. Like even the high priestess at night. So the high priestess looks like like the moon behind her. So let's take a look here at this moon energy. 18, number 18. Okay. Dreams, nighttime psychic activity, and the paranormal. An idea, thought, or thing inside your subconscious is ready to rise and be seen. Imagination, visions, dark magic. Okay, so it says here, the moon is the archetype of mystery. Portents are seen in the mind's eye and felt in the body. A full moon rises. Cancer, you're a moon sign. You're like in the tarot, your card that is assigned to you is the moon. Oh my gosh, that is too funny. See, it's like a full circle. It's perfect. You've got the whole full body energetic upgrade. You've done all the work. Now it's time to, just embrace who you are, love who you are. Like, don't apologize for being authentic. Okay, because that is like the most beautiful, like, just energetically amazing place to be. So, a full moon rises. It outshines all celestial objects. The shadow witch feels a stirring deep within her. A body rises from the waters as if the moon were a magnet, birthing a fully formed woman from the murky depths. The moon reflects new possibility, rising from your subconscious to fill the space you have created. The moon is odd and unfamiliar. It is something new taking form. The moon is uncanny, mysterious, psychic, and dangerous because original creations are rarely familiar. It can be downright frightening and scary to encounter something you can't identify. This is why the things we desire often frighten us. New possibilities, new ways of being, draw unfamiliar responses from us. The moon card gently lets us know we can support what is rising. The time is at hand. This is the birth of what always existed within. The subconscious communicates directly with your highest consciousness. There is no interference. This urge, desire, and new way can rise through the moon's reflected light. Sacred imagination is activated. Visions of the future portents are seen in the mind's eye and felt in the body. The lady rises from lunar subconscious depths as the pregnant moon rises in the night sky. Two wolves howl, reflecting our animal instincts. Dual Gothic towers foreshadow the evolution of what is to come. What will be built? A path leads from the water to a distant mountain. This is the path of completion. What rises is sure to become real. There you have it. The moon. So you are rising. You are truly embracing your authentic self and who you are. And that's going to just pretty much take you on a whole new path and a whole new adventure. And I feel like it's going to be really, really incredible. And you're going to have so much fun, Cancer. So I'm really happy for you. Love and light always. Happy birthday, Cancers. All right. Take care now. Bye.